Hey everybody, it's Joel Williams and Chase Elleby at Williams Elleby coming to you today with week number 44 in our video series of 52 weeks of personal injury. Today we want to talk to you about what I wish I had known before my car wreck. Before we get into that, shout out to people who sent us free swag. Moses Kim at the Moses Firm, and let's see, Winter Wheeler, who is a wonderful mediator in the state of Georgia. Sent us some nice swag. So if you're looking for a good medical malpractice lawyer, Moses is a great lawyer. And if you're looking for a mediator, Winter's a great mediator. That's all the free pub we're giving out today. So let's talk about what I wish I had known before a car wreck. We get this question or that comment a lot from our clients who maybe wait a little while or wait too long before they call us, and they maybe make a misstep before they actually get in touch with us. But I would say the number one thing is making the mistake of trusting the insurance company or assuming that the insurance company will treat you right or do the right thing. We get that a lot because their interest is very rarely aligned with yours.
Yeah, and just for clarification, that's the at-fault insurance company. I'd say most of the time your own insurance company, say you get a car wreck and you have to get your property damage resolved or whatever it might be, your own insurance company is generally motivated to work with you and try to help you out the best they can. Of course, within the parameters of the insurance agreement that you have with that specific company, and I guarantee you if it at any way favors the insurance company, they're not going to bend over backwards to help out. But yeah, generally speaking, the at-fault insurance company is certainly not your friend.
Yep. So just don't trust when they say, hey, we're going to take care of you, or you can just send us these bills and we'll pay them, because they're not necessarily going to pay them. You might get the bill sent to them and they come back and say, well, we didn't know it was going to be this high.
Right.
Or we didn't know the doctor was going to charge this much. Because we see it all the time. They're not necessarily going to take care of you. And
with medical bills too, it's the argument's always we're only required to pay what we think is reasonable and necessary. So then it becomes, well, we don't think that was reasonable or that price is necessary. You're like, well, that's what it was and that's what it cost. So, but right, not your friend.
What's number two?
Number two is gaps, right? So if you're hurt, if you're not feeling well, if something is bothering you, get it checked out by a medical professional. Gaps in treatment are going to be, I don't say a case killer, but it gives the insurance company just something to argue against, right? If you didn't go to the doctor, within a week or so of the car wreck, but instead you wait 2 months because your neck's not getting any better, well, the insurance company's going to say, well, so sorry, Joel, but how do we know something didn't happen from the time you got in that car wreck all the way up into the 2 months later that you finally got around to going to the hospital, right? So we're not going to be responsible for that. So it just gives them, another reason to deny a claim or to say that either waited too long, so it's not related, or you waited too long so you can't be that badly hurt. You just don't give them that option if you really are hurt and need to get to the doctor.
Yeah. And speaking of gap, that kind of reminded me of another time that we use the term gap in litigation, and that's gap coverage for your automobile. Mm-hmm. So especially in today's market where vehicles are just insanely priced, if you are in a wreck, you want to make sure that the amount that your car is worth is not less than what you owe on the car. Now that's not always avoidable. Sometimes the market just is what it is and you may owe more on your car than it's worth. Because when you have a totaled vehicle, the insurance company only has to pay you the fair market value of your car. So in other words, what I could sell my car to Chase for on the regular ordinary market, right? So if I could sell my car to Chase for $20,000 but I owe $30,000 on it, then I'm going to be in a pickle if I get in a wreck and my car is totaled. So that's where gap coverage comes in. And sometimes lenders will actually require you to purchase gap coverage, but you want to make sure you have gap coverage if you suspect that you could ever be in that situation, because that gap coverage can step in and make that $10,000 difference up, or whatever the difference is between what you owe on your car and what it's worth.
Right. And speaking of insurance and coverages and things like that, another thing to be aware of, sort of what you wish you knew before you got in a car wreck, is your uninsured motorist coverage that is your auto insurance, right? And we'll talk more about the specifics of auto insurance in another video, but you want to make sure you have at least some uninsured motorist coverage on your own policy, because that covers you in the instance where someone hits you where they're either not insured with liability coverage or they don't have enough insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure you have it, and if your state offers it, make sure you have what we call add-on.
Right.
That's going to be really important if you ever need it. I would say the next thing would be full coverage is rarely full coverage. I don't know how many times we have gotten the comment, oh yeah, don't worry, I've got full coverage.
Right.
And then we find out that it's actually just minimum limits coverage, and the insurance broker or whoever sold them the insurance policy told them, oh yeah, we'll get you full coverage. Just meaning you're fully legally able to drive in the state. It doesn't mean that you're adequately protected if you cause a wreck and cause bad damages, or if somebody hits you and causes bad damages. So don't just settle for full coverage. Really look into your policy and find out what kind of coverage is written into that policy and whether the amounts of coverage are sufficient to protect your assets or to protect yourself if you're hit by somebody that doesn't have insurance.
Yeah, when I hear full coverage, 80% of the time it's usually just minimum coverage. It's just the bare minimum you need to be a legal driver, especially in the state of Georgia. So another thing I think of you need to know or do before, or wish you knew before your car wreck, was to hire a good personal injury attorney, right? Hire someone that you know is going to do a good job for you and not someone that's just looking out for themselves. One way to know for sure, I always go look at reviews, right? And go, find the website, find out what other people are saying about it, ask friends and family who may have used an attorney that they like, that they got a good result. But just be diligent in who you search for and make sure you're getting the right attorney for you.
Yeah, because one thing you'll find is we beat up on insurance companies a little bit on these videos because we're adversaries with them a lot. But I'll beat up on some PI lawyers or personal injury attorneys too, because quite often if you have to go to the hospital, we have less than ethical PI attorneys around that will try to get in touch with you. And even chiropractors and medical professionals that want your business will try to get in touch with you and then put you in touch with a personal injury lawyer. I'll just say this: if a lawyer's desperate enough to chase you down at the hospital to try to get your business, there's a reason they're that desperate. And it's probably because they're not good enough to have a good enough reputation in the community to have people come to them. So they have to come to you. So if a lawyer or any other professional, except for the doctor you're treating with, comes to you and tries to get you to hire them, think twice about that before you do, because you might be in a pickle.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of great lawyers out there that do bankruptcy or corporate work or draft excellent wills and do family law. It's important to have a lawyer that specializes in what it is that you need help with. And if it's a car wreck, it's a personal injury attorney.
Yeah. I would say the next thing is pretty obvious, but it is so important because you're the only person that you can rely on to do this. If you're in a wreck and you're able to do this, then pictures, video, and names and contact information of any witnesses that are at the scene can be absolute deal breakers when it comes to your personal injury claim. It's amazing how people can be in the same event and have such different recollections of what actually happened. So just take the pictures, document the property damage, take video if you're able to, walk around and just video everything. If you can get the people that were in the wreck in that video so we can at least see what they look like in case their information is not taken down accurately by the police department, that can be helpful. And police don't always record witnesses' contact information. So if there's a witness that stops, try to get their name and phone number at a minimum, so that if you have to bring a claim later, we can get in touch with those independent witnesses to verify what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Don't rely on the investigating police officer to take down independent witness information. If you know John Smith stopped and said he saw the whole thing, he might go speak with the police officer, and the police officer might get that information and incorporate it in the report. but you'll never know who that John Smith is or a number to contact that person, which is, very important, especially if it's a red light, green light type case or something where the other, driver's trying to point the finger at you. So, I would say, I guess sort of last but not least, is to, if you're feeling bad, if you're hurt, you're in pain, get to the doctor, get checked out. A lot of times folks will just want to wait and see and try to get better, which is perfectly fine. Do that, but if it's a week, 2 weeks later, and you're still having back pain or neck pain or something still bothering you, get it checked out. It's better to be safe than sorry. And if nothing else, you also have that documentation to say, yeah, I was hurt. Not only was I hurt, but here's the doctor I went to that can confirm that I complained of these, symptoms or this pain. And they also did objective type tests to confirm that I did have that injury or that pain. So I think that's very important, is to get checked out if you're feeling pain. And guys, honestly, are the worst about it because they just want to rub dirt on it and go on their, their merry way. But it's very, very important to get checked out.
Yeah. Or sometimes women will say that guys are the worst about it because they whine and complain about everything that's ever wrong with them. At least that's what my wife would say.
Right, exactly.
It's not that bad. Suck it up, buddy.
Right. Don't get me on the man cold.
Yeah, the man cold. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up. You got anything else you want to add to us? Okay.
No.
Well, that wraps it up for week 44 of our video series of 52 weeks of personal injury. If this video has been helpful to you, just give us a thumbs up. We sure would appreciate it. Or subscribe to our channel. We would definitely appreciate that. Otherwise, we will see you next week for week number 45.